In about 90 minutes, one of these two players stops being the best player alive. The other one starts. There's no overlap, no transition period, just one final, deciding it for both of them, and almost nobody's talking about the part that actually decides it. Start with the basics. A World Cup final isn't really two players. It's two systems, wearing two players as the headline. Messi is the closing chapter of one cycle. Lamine Yamal is the opening line of the next. The tournament didn't plan that. The sport just keeps producing it. On a schedule, whether anyone's ready or not. Here's the part most fans miss. Careers in football don't overlap by accident. They overlap because the sport is designed to always have someone next. Every great player arrives while another is still playing. Not after, during. That overlap isn't sentimental, it's structural. The academies, the scouting networks, the youth pathways, all quietly built to make sure the story never actually ends. It just changes narrator. Think about how a player like Yamal even gets to this stage at 19. It's not luck. Clubs like Barcelona run academy systems specifically designed to fast-track the next generation, while the current one is still winning trophies. Somewhere, right now, there's a 10-year-old going through the exact same pipeline Yamal did. That's not romantic. That's inventory management, dressed up as destiny. So when a 38-year-old and a 19-year-old end up on the same pitch for the biggest prize in the sport, that's not fate. That's the system doing exactly what it was built to do. Now here's where it gets sharper. People want this to be a duel. Messi versus Yamal. One-on-one, best man wins. It isn't. Finals are decided by teams, not storylines. Yamal can have the game of his life, and Spain can still lose. Messi can be quiet for 90 minutes, and Argentina can still win. The individual moment is the headline. The 11 versus 11 is the actual mechanism. Here's the why behind that. Spain don't build their team around one player creating magic. They build around patient possession, short passes, constant rotation, wearing teams down until a gap finally opens. Argentina, by contrast, thrive on moments. A mistake, a transition, one flash of individual brilliance turning a stalemate into a goal. Two completely different philosophies of how football is supposed to be won. Yamal is a symptom of Spain's system. Messi, even now, is still capable of being the exception to Argentina's. And here's the twist. Most broadcasts won't tell you. The photo, the age gap, the symbolism, none of it matters to what actually happens on the pitch. Zero tactical relevance. It matters to you, the viewer, because stories need shape. Football just happens to keep handing us one for free. And broadcasters know it sells better than a back three formation ever will. Which brings us to what's actually on the table this Sunday. Argentina are chasing something no nation has done since Brazil in the late 1950s and early 1960s, winning back-to-back World Cups. Spain are back in a final for the first time since 2010, when a different golden generation lifted the trophy in South Africa. One team is defending an era, one team is trying to start one. So when the whistle blows, don't watch it as Messi versus Yamal. Watch it as a handoff. The same one football stages every few years, whether either of them wanted the spotlight on this exact stage or not. There's one more layer worth sitting with. Messi has spent nearly 2 decades being the answer to who is the best player alive. Yamal has spent less than 2 years being asked the same question. That's not a coincidence either. It's the sport's oldest trick. It never lets the throne sit empty long enough for anyone to notice the transition happening. And here's the part that should genuinely worry Argentina fans. Spain haven't just been good this tournament. They've been suffocating, conceding almost nothing, controlling almost everything. That's not the profile of a team that's supposed to lose to sentiment. Finals don't care how good your story is. They care whether you can breathe with the ball at your feet for 90 minutes. Right now, only one of these teams looks built for that. Zoom out and the whole thing is simple. Football doesn't wait for anyone to be ready. It just keeps producing the next name while the last one is still on the pitch. Messi and Yamal aren't a fairy tale. They're a mechanism, and this Sunday it plays out live, whether either of them is ready for what it means. The game has not changed. You have. You're welcome. Subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content. It means a lot.